And haven't we missed him? Clifford Bennett, Orb Global Group Investment Chief Economist, joins us now to take us across all the latest economic data, and we'll see if Clifford's still optimistic. Well, Clifford?
It's just all going the bull way, isn't it, Peter?
So you're saying to us, with all credibility, that if there's a good reason for you to be a bear, you'd be a bear, but
Absolutely.
there's no good reason.
I remember getting a lot of flack years ago when I was a bear, but particularly on the Australian dollar, but at the moment we're in a grand bull market. And we have been for some time. The Santa rally started early last year and it's sort of still going.
Now, but you use a new term, a grand bull rally.
Oh, well, I've used that since March.
I know you have, but
it's a grand bull market of 5 to 15 years, but probably longer.
You've got to talk cyclical and secular.
Okay.
Secular, of course, would be, because Rudy said, or implied, we're probably in a secular bear market going up and down, and we get some nice cyclical bull markets.
Yes.
And he said probably we're in there, but he said maybe it's the end of it. It may well be a grand bull market on the make, but we're not sure.
No, I mean, we're never sure. It's always an opinion. But I think it's quite clear in a bull market because basically hardly anyone's bullish and the market keeps going up. And that's a really good sign that this is a very strong
So explain what you mean by that. It's a great line. I like it.
People don't want to buy. No. People are short. People want to sell.
Investor surveys don't indicate.
And they all, people are starting to wake up now. I've noticed the rhetoric is changing amongst a lot of my peer group to being things are a little bit less clear now, or there are rays of hope, but the market's already up quite significantly. I mean, basically, if everyone was incredibly enthusiastic and the news headlines were full every day of this is a fabulous grand bull market, as I'm saying, and everyone was saying it, and we're all excited, and let's borrow money off our home and buy shares again. If we're in that state of mind and the market was only sort of ticking up slowly, I'd start to think we're near a top. But we're not in that state of mind. We're in the state of mind of don't believe this rally. It can't be true because Europe's going to implode, the United States is going to slow, and this absolute nonsense about China slowing down. And I mean...
stop on that one.
Yeah.
Prove it. People want you.
Okay.
They love hearing you saying it.
Yeah, okay.
Prove it.
China today, the data out of China today isn't official data. I've said this on your show before.
HSBC
it's just a private bank survey. It's always wrong. In a couple of days' time, we'll find out what the real correct number is. I expect that the correct official number to be 50.0, line ball. That means that...
That's the Clifford Bennett test.
That means that Chinese manufacturing is holding and still running at the same elevated level that it has gotten to over the last 10 years of incredible growth year after year after year. That's a phenomenal performance. In terms of GDP,
if it's at the same level, we're not expanding, but you're saying it's such a high level anyway.
We can't keep up with the demand where it is anyway. So, I mean, even if the official PMI dropped back to 42, Australia'd still have trouble keeping up with the demand for our resources. Although countries like Russia are starting to undercut us now because we've become too complacent, priced ourselves out of the market to some degree with all our taxes, but that's another story. But coming back to China and the growth, the GDP in China, the official target, they wanted 7.5 this year. They wanted to slow it down. They wanted to change the nature of the expansion from exports to domestic driven, from construction to a more sort of a deep, sophisticated economy. And they're doing that. And that means they'll run at about 8% in the years ahead. So I would say right now, China is running at 7.8 to 8.2%. That is hardly anything to panic about.
All right, now, Clifford, I guess the curious mind would be saying, if Clifford's right about China, what in the hell's going on with the Shanghai Composite? It's been dropping. You must have a defence for this.
I was in Russia and at the APEC summit and I spoke on currencies, and but what really struck me was if you like, the cautiousness among the Chinese delegation. The Chinese delegation was huge. It really was. It was sort of the dominant force.
They tend to do everything huge, don't they?
Yes, but then also, there's Hong Kong, there's Taiwan, but there was a great deal of caution among those people themselves, and a lot of them were in the mining industry or were exporters, and so they were particularly cautious. And I think that's, market sentiment in China itself is a little bit depressed at the moment, but still the economy runs strongly.
But you would have thought that if anyone's going to be backing China, it would be the Chinese themselves. But
no, the Chinese are big gamblers. We all know that. Yeah. But they tend to have what often happens is when they sell down the property market. When they sell down the property market, they're buying equities. When they sell down the equity market, they're buying property. Yeah. So they tend to move in a large group that way in terms of the internal investment processes in China. Look, Shanghai's a great. You've got to buy stocks in Shanghai, but it is at elevated levels in any case.
Okay, let's just go through what I would call the Bennett-o-meter. Now, came on.
Adopt this.
Yeah, you came onto the stage with a call before the March bounce back in 2009, right? Right, you made the early call. What's happened to our stock market since that time? Because we've gone up. People love Bennett. It went down. They hated Bennett. It went up again.
Love-hate relationships.
Yeah,
The story of my
and
life.
around August, September of last year, they hated you again.
Yes.
But then
and you
in
nailed it.
at
Wrong
September
from
the
May to
conference,
September.
you predicted that we'd come back out again. But of course, they said he would say that because he said we were going up.
Yep.
So where have we been from
okay.
March to that?
And I mean, and also you've got to realise a lot of my calls are based really about the US market in terms of and the China story, as well as the Australian share market. If you look at the US market, we had that 100% rally from the March 2009 lows over the next year, and then you only had about a 30% pullback. Very healthy sort of market, really. But what we did have in Australia was a deeper pullback because you had the higher currency impact, and also we've had a deeper pullback because a lot of American hedge funds and investment firms have really pushed the idea that China's a pack of cards. The Americans still don't want to believe it, some of them, and they've really, hammered our resource sector to a degree. But what we've had is a year of. We had one of the biggest rallies we've ever seen in the equity market in 2009, 2010. Hardly anyone notices because all the way
In Australia, you're saying?
Yes. And because it was a 70% rally, but hardly anyone noticed because the whole way up, every news story was about selling the rally all the way up. But since then, we've had 2 to 3 years of going sideways in an agonising major consolidation phase. But that's, the first leg up from the major low. Agonising, drawn out, longer than I expected, certainly, consolidation phase. But the longer the consolidation in any market, if you look back through history, the bigger the next big bull run. That's why I'm particularly confident. I'm not confident because I might be finally getting my call right, but the agony, if you like, then flips into the joy of this run that we're getting.
Well, Clifford, from my point of view, and I've written in some of my articles on my switzer.com.au website, is that it seems to me that what we need is a confident snowball, and it is building. But at the moment, there are still a lot of people afraid of the debt problem with the US, the fiscal cliff, and all that sort of stuff. Once all these get behind us, then I think that snowball gets bigger and bigger.
But we don't want that to happen. To be honest, we don't want that to happen too quickly.
No.
Because once everyone's figured out that it's a bull market,
then we're close to the next
we
crash.
have to be a little bit careful. But we're looking to be in early when no one else believes it, and then where you bought, your stock is pushed away by the wave after wave of other people recognising it.
Are you expecting a profit-taking period before the next reason to go? No, the next reason to go is going to be better data out of China, better data out of the USA, better data out of Europe. We might need 6 months for that to happen.
But what I said for the Christmas rally was we could have no data and we'll have a rally. That is because people are exhausted at selling. There's no one left to sell.
Americans love a Santa Claus rally.
Any small fund that starts to buy even a little bit, the market price moves up, it triggers other people to buy. So the market's going to move higher on virtually no news and no volume, and it's going to keep doing that. So if people want to grab something, they need to do it now. But, it's a very good market. I like that it's moving higher on low volume.
So you're not going to profit take. You'd rather, or you probably dollar cost average. If stocks you like go down, you buy them at lower prices.
In terms of our short-term signals that I produce in the White Crane report, we've gone square for the moment on the market as we go into this sort of short-term consolidation phase. So it depends on your time frame. But when when we're talking on a medium sort of 3-month to 12-month view, it's certainly a bull market.
Well, we'll watch you. We hope you're right because optimism is great. Thanks, Clifford. If you want to read my thoughts each morning at the close of Wall Street, check out my website, switzer.com.au. And if you have a self-managed super fund, have a look at switzersuperreport.com.au. If you've got any questions for me or ones you'd like me to put to an expert, email me, switzer@skynews.com.au. I'm Peter Switzer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.